Now in the Christian calendar, we are in December, and December marks the end of the year. Now in this country, UK and other countries, America and all these others, everyone goes by this calendar. This is the day-to-day calendar. If I asked you what is the Islamic date today, many of us wouldn't even know that because we don't use it on a daily basis. That's used more in other countries. So for them, they would use that calendar. But the calendar which you are going off is an important calendar for you because the days are the same. The days and the nights today, whichever calendar you use, the day is the same. It is one. When Muharram comes, the first Islamic month, then yes, it is important that you do that very thing which everyone does every year and then they fail. What is that? Can anyone tell me what is it that everyone does at the beginning of the year? Maybe the 2nd, 5th, 10th of January comes or 10th of Muharram comes and they've stopped, they've given up. What is that? Yes, mashallah, New Year's resolution. So everyone does this New Year's resolution thing, or many people do it, but they fail. They fail shortly afterwards, and before January is gone, they've even forgot their New Year's resolution. So if I ask you what was your New Year's resolution last year, can you even remember? Did you even make one? Or 8 as we're about to see inshallah. So why this is important that you make a plan, because this is a great wisdom that failing to plan is planning to fail. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So you all have pen and paper now. Please write that down because everything I say after is based upon that. Failing to plan is planning to fail. What does that mean? That if you haven't planned anything, then you are planning to fail in your life, in your marriage, in your children relationship, being a father, mother. You're planning to fail in your business. You're planning to fail in your job if you don't plan for it. You're planning to fail in your time management if you don't plan for it. You're planning to fail in your deen and in your akhirah if you're not planning for it. Everything needs some sort of plan. Otherwise, one may as well believe that I'm failing in this. So if a person doesn't plan for something, it's very unlikely that they succeed in that. That type of success is different, but most people who succeed in any field, they have plans in something. So now imagine this. This is something which maybe another day we can do. To plan for 5 years, 2019 was beginning, 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, even 24. Imagine 2024, 5 years from now. How many of you have a plan for 5 years from now? What is your plan for then? Is it just one word that I plan to be retired and that's it? But there's no action, no actionable steps that you can take? But many of us don't have a 5-year plan. Do you have even, never mind the 5-year plan, the 3-year plan? Where do you see yourself in 3 years from today? Where do you see yourself in 2 years from today, in 1 year from today? So let me break this down. If you want to plan for 5 years from now, never mind 10, 20, 30 years, people make plans like this as well. If you want to plan for 5 years, you need to have at least a 2-year plan. And if you want to have a 2-year plan, you need to have a 1-year plan. That in 1 year, this is where I want to be. And what do you think's next? If you want to have a 1-year plan, what do you need? What do you think? No, beyond that, come forward in time. Before 1 year, what do you need?
6 months.
6 months, exactly. You need a 6-month plan. In this 6 months, I will be here. In the next 6 months, I'll be here, inshallah. But if you want a 6-month plan, what do you need beyond to break that down? A monthly plan, something for every month. And if you want to have a monthly plan, what do you need? A weekly plan, something for all the 4 weeks. What is your plan for the next 4 weeks? This week, next week, then that week. And if you need to have a weekly plan to succeed, what do you need to have then? Sorry? Daily plan. You need to have a plan for each day. And Imam Ghazali rahmatullahi mentions that the plan for each day should have 3 plans, 3 parts to it. What are they?
Morning, afternoon, evening.
Yes, you need to have a plan for your morning, for your afternoon, and for your evening. And if you don't have a plan for morning, afternoon, evening, then the day is going to waste. It's going and it's going. There's nothing being achieved from each part of the day. So let's go break that down again as a summary for the 2 that have just come. If you want to have a 5-year plan, what do you first need? At least a 2-year plan. If you want to have a 2-year plan, what do you need? 1-year plan. If you to have a 1-year plan, what do you need? 6 months. 6 months you need every single month. And for the month, what do you need? Go on. Weekly. You need a plan for every week, the 4 weeks ahead. Beyond that, what do you need? Daily plan. And beyond that, what do you need? A plan for... Yes? The morning and the afternoon and the evening. And if a person has this, if they plan for their day, for their morning, afternoon, evening, they will achieve their target for the day. If they achieve their target for their day, they'll achieve the target for the week. If they achieve the target for the week, they'll achieve the month. If they do the month, they'll achieve the 6 months. If they achieve that, they'll achieve the year. If they achieve the year, they will achieve the 2 years. And if they achieve the 2 years, then their 5-year plan becomes also very realistic, inshallah. So now the question is, now you know, do you see, this is why they say, it's very important, if you want to change your life, you have to change your day. Write that down, because that's a very important point. That if you want to change your life, you need to change your day. I'm going to add one word onto there, and that is this. If you want to change your afterlife, you need to change your day. This applies to dunya and to deen. If you want to change your afterlife, you need to change your day. So why? Because your whole life is made up of days. So if you're having good days meaning achieving, pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, living by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command and the footsteps of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you're having good days doesn't mean I feel good. That's got nothing. You might feel good, but you're not being good. You might feel bad, but you're actually being good. So the feeling is irrelevant. So if you are having good days, meaning obedient to Allah, every day becomes a better for this life and better for the after. But if you're having bad days, then your life is becoming bad. So if you want to see what is my life, what is the circle of my life looking like, you need to look at your days. So now inshallah, everything I draw on this board, I want you to draw with me, but I want you to do your individual pie chart, your individual circle, your individual life. You're going to see your life in a circle. Inshallah, that's what you're going to see. So I might use one volunteer, inshallah, or maybe 2 volunteers. So we'll see. But I want you to do your own. So when I ask you for certain numbers and so on, you write your own number, you write your own action to make it change. So inshallah, let's begin. Bismillah. So, first thing I want you to do is all of you draw a nice big circle or an oval. And those of you watching at home, anywhere you are, you can do this yourself as well, inshallah. This is something which we should do every single month. So make a chart like this. If you do something like this, your New Year's resolution, your plan for your future is much more likely to happen, become realistic. But if you don't make any realistic plan, then it's just going to go into the file of the past and you'll forget about it again. So if I asked you break down your life into 8 categories, 8 groups, can you give me one? Tell me one of them. That's not, well, yes, diet is in there. So eating is in there. But let me give you a holistic one, what I mean. So areas of your life that are very, very important, that if they were good and happy, you would become very happy. Yes. The mic? Oh, is it on? Okay, so the first one, I'm going to give you one. What do we do every day? Many of us, where do we go to earn something? What are we doing? Work. Okay, so for some people, this is going to be work. For some, it will be business. So let's put the first one. Work, business. And for some of you, this chart can be work and this one can be business, because some of you work and you have a business on the side. Some of you don't have a job, you have business only, you can put business. Okay, and in this we can put finance as well, because your finance is directly related to your work and your business. Okay, if I was to tell you, I want you to rate how happy you are with your work, your business or finance. 1 out of 10. 0 being it doesn't exist, you're very unhappy, it's the worst it could be. 10 being you're so happy that you could never become better. What number would you give it? So I want you to give that number now. And I want you to write that number here in this section. So, yes, go on.
7.
You want to give a 7? So, can you be our volunteer to, would you like? One of the volunteers, we'll use 2, inshallah. Yeah, so 7, we're going to go with your 7. So let's say that's a 7, inshallah, very good. I'm meant to do this in green. Okay. Another aspect of life. Tell me another one. Very important aspects of life. Think about people. Sleeping could go in here. You're right. So we could put sleeping. Okay, let's put sleep. That's a very good one. So sleep. Very good. Okay, any others? Tell me about the family, the people around you, your relationships.
Socializing.
Yeah, so socializing with who? Socializing in general, because it's very general. Let's make it more specific.
Family time.
Yeah, so in family time, who would you consider family?
Brothers, mom, dad.
So let's put parents and siblings. And in another one, what should we have? Who's the person you see every day for those of you who are married? Yeah, so marriage, okay? Marriage, okay? And other than marriage, who are the little ones running around? Your children. So do you see, your marriage might be very happy, but your parenting is not very good. Your relationship with your siblings and parents might be very good, but the marriage is not good. 3 different aspects of life. They're not the same. So just saying socializing isn't enough. But who do we tend to socialize with? Who else is there? Friendship. So your friendship. Okay, 2 more. If you need to sleep in the day, what else do we need to do in the night? What else do we need to do in the day for good health? Starts with a G. Go to the gym. So let's put exercise. You don't have to go to the gym. Now, brother, you mentioned food. We can put diet there as well. For some of us, you might separate your exercise and your diet. That's fine. But if we're just starting, let's put them together. One more. Something very important part of our life that none of us have mentioned yet. Deen. Yeah. So your duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm going to call it your self-development. Okay? You're developing yourself. Your self-development. So now let's have a volunteer, inshallah. Brother, would you like to volunteer? No? You like to volunteer? Yeah? Okay, so for this business, work, finance, what number would you like to give? No, you can sit there. I can change it from a 7.
I'm just starting out, so I'll give it a 2.
2, okay. 2. And for sleep?
I get lots, so that's about 11. I get more than 12.
Do you know that's not necessarily a good thing? Because oversleep can be bad for you as well.
I'm on medication, it makes
Okay, so we'll give it a 10 because it's out of 10. Yeah? So you're happy with your sleep, no problems there. Your parents and siblings relationship.
My parents have passed away, so that'd be 0. And family, I haven't seen them at all, so about a 2.
Okay, regarding parents, firstly, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Just because they've passed away doesn't mean your relationship with them is non-existent. What else can you do if they've passed away? Should we just forget our parents after they die?
Pray for them if you want.
Yeah.
If you want, I pray for them.
That's very good. So that's still a relationship with your parents, remembering them, praying for them, doing a good deed and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send that to them. So your relationship still exists. It should exist in your mind and heart. So go on then, let's just do siblings for yourself. So you said a 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Marriage?
I'm not married, so that's a 0.
Okay, so 0, and we want to get that one up, inshallah. Okay, so if those of you who are not married, marriage can still be there because you might want to get married. Hopefully, you do want to get married. So then there are actions to do to become married. So it might be a 0, but there's something we can do. Children,
Obviously not.
well, in your case, that's 0 as well. Friendships, your friendships.
But I hardly see them because they're all married now.
Okay.
They're working full time.
So you have no friendship relationships.
I do, but I see them very rarely, so I'll give it a 3.
3, okay. Exercise and diet.
I do that 3 times a week, and my diet's quite good. I'm losing weight, so I'll give it a 7.
7, okay, very good. And self-development, this means improving yourself as a person, especially in relation to becoming a better character.
That I work on every day, so I'll give it a 9.
Give it a 9.
Yeah.
So, okay, very good.
And I read a lot of books. You saw me at the
Yes,
at
yes.
the property event. I'm
Yep.
always trying to do things to.
So this is you can apply this in relation to your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where am I? How is my relationship? How is my journey to Allah? How is my tariq journey to Allah? Just a different name. So you still happy with the 9?
Yeah.
That means you're doing everything that you can almost.
I do my amounts, I do my salah, I attend Monday Majlis, Bangla Majlis, Wednesday sometimes I come on Century, and Thursday I go to the Morocco.
Okay, very good, mashallah. So we'll give that a 9. So has everyone else done this? Yeah, have you all given your own numbers? Okay, so can you all, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do that. Draw this big circle like this, and then inshallah, rate your numbers 0 to 10. The next thing to do is we want to circle the 3 which don't exist, which are lowest, So that's quite obvious. So brother, what was your name?
Rafiel,
Brother Rafiel, which are the lowest ones there?
so the 2 zeros on the 2.
And another? We're gonna go, well, let's go with this 3 because the children one, we're not gonna do that unless there's marriage. So inshallah, let's focus on parent siblings, marriage, and friendship. Now, the interesting thing about doing this is that whichever aspect of your life, tell me this, if your relationship with your parents and siblings were to improve, don't you think that that would automatically mean that friendships would also improve, marriage might improve because they might help you find someone in your case, sleep would improve, in your case is a 10, but I'm saying in general, if your relationship with these people improved, then your you'd sleep better. If your business and work was better, you'd have more time to exercise. If your self-development was better, you would be a happier person, so you'd become happier with these people as well. If your exercise and diet was very good, you'd feel more happier again, and you'd focus on developing this. You'd become happier here as well. If you're getting very lack of sleep, just imagine the other way around. Very little sleep. Do you not think you'd be moody at the wife and the husband, moody at your children, moody with your friends, no time for exercise because you're not sleeping enough, you're not developing yourself because you're too tired mentally, and then your work is not going to be very good because of sleep. So all of them are connected. If you improve one area of life, you improve them all. So the question is this: can you focus on all 8 at once? Is that possible? It's very hard. To do all 8 at once is very hard. So we only focus on 3 of them. So in your case, we're not going to focus on the children. Let's focus on parents and siblings. So brother, now the next thing to do is in the next circle, this circle here, so can you all draw this? I want you to draw or to write what action can brother Rafiel do to improve his parents and sibling relationship from a 2. Let's say we want to take it from a 2 to a 3 or even a 4. So brother Rafiel, what would you need to do?
Try and interact with them more.
Okay, so see them more often. Brother Sadiq, can you give us an idea of what can someone who's got a low parent-sibling relationship, what else can they do? Interact with them more. Let's be more specific. Very good. Okay, so let's serve them. Serve them. Anything else?
Help them in any of their needs, or just brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Might be younger people or just struggling with anything. Ask them how they need any help from you.
So offer them help. So serving and offering help is very similar. Serving is doing things for them without even them asking. And then offering them help is, what is your problem that I can help you with? So there's only a slight difference there. So serving them might be, I take some food to their house, I give them some gift or something like this. You're serving them, you're opening door for them, you're making tea for them. They're not asking for it, you're just helping them. Offering your help is asking them, what's the problem that you have and I want to help you. So Brother Rafiel, let's get one more. You tell me. So you said interact with them. So be more specific. How many hours a week?
I don't know, maybe call them when I'm free. Phone them.
And how often will you be free? Do you see, you have to make your action
In the evenings, maybe.
once a day, every day?
Yeah, once a day.
Okay, so ring them every day. Okay, so ring them every day. If you did those three things, you served them, you helped them, you rang them every day, what number would you give to your new parent-sibling relationship?
6.
Wow, mashallah. So it's going from a 6, it's going from a 2 all the way to a 6. Yeah? Okay, very good. So have you written these down? Because they're actions for you, specifically. Anyone else? Who else has given parents, siblings a low score? Anybody else? What score have we given? Anyone want to share? So, Brother Yahya.
10.
You've given it a 10. That's excellent, mashallah. Brother Mustafa?
I think 7.
7. So, what's your lowest 3?
Can't at the moment my mother, she's in Bangladesh, so regularly I can't speak to her before.
Yeah.
Asking how she is. And
Yeah. So, how often do you do that? Do you ring your mother?
once in a week, sometime in a couple of weeks.
So, how could you do it more often to improve it? Yeah. So, do you see, by recognizing, now I didn't make these numbers up for Brother Rafiel. He himself felt if right now it's here, it's quite low. If I did them, it'll be here. So I don't have to tell you what you need to do. You need to tell you what you need to do. You can tell yourself. You can tell yourself what you need to do just to improve the score. So let's do it. Let's do a next one. For someone whose marriage doesn't exist, they're not married. What's the first thing? What action could they do? They need to look. So how are they going to look? Yeah. So ask family, friends. You need to inform them. If you don't announce, I'm looking for marriage, no one's going to look for you. Announce that I'm looking to get married. Have you made an announcement, Brother Rafiel?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're looking.
Okay, so you've announced to family and friends. What about the wider community?
No.
There. Okay, so the next one is?
I'm trying to lose some weight first, then I'll look more attractive.
Well, that's now this is the part where I would actually say to you, rather than you telling me what you need to do, I would tell you that whatever situation you're in, inshallah, there's someone there for you. So maybe there's someone else looking also to lose weight.
But I want a pretty wife, though.
Okay, so that's fine. It doesn't just because there are many people out there who need to lose weight, but they're still pretty. So this is misconception. All people who are very healthy are not all pretty. And if you tell me this, if you married the most beautiful person in the world, but they had the worst character, do they become beautiful to you? They become very ugly. And with day by day, every single one of us becomes worse and worse. Our body deteriorates. But what happens with good character? Does it become more beautiful or more ugly? It becomes more and more beautiful. So if you find someone who's got a beautiful character or wants to improve their character, that's going to get better and better. So now, in your case, you need to change your criteria. So what I want you to do, this I'm mentioning, is write down your criteria and have it checked by someone who knows what you should be looking for. Because right now you might be looking for the wrong things. Does that make sense? So, criteria. Let's imagine that someone in the room is married, but it's got a low score. What could you do? So who's given their marriage a low score? You don't have to mention if you don't want to, but what could you do?
Attend a marriage workshop.
Very good. So attend the workshop in January, inshallah, in Oldham as well. So there's a workshop, attend the marriage workshop. That's something very practical you can do. Something else, something small, something you can do.
Maybe spend more time with your wife.
Very good. And by more time,
Home helping her.
okay, very good. So help in the house. And it could be, so there's no more space now because you should only write down 2 actions, not 10. I'm only writing down a few more here. Only write down 2 actions of what you can do. Because 2 actions, is that more achievable or is 10 actions more achievable? 2 is much more achievable, and that 1 action is going to make a difference. So Brother Rafael, if you did this, you wrote down your criteria, you attended the workshop, you asked family and friends, and you asked the wider community, and you did this as well, then where do you think this marriage might go to then?
Then maybe about an 8, because I'd be probably talking to families, looking at prospects.
Okay, very good. That's a big difference to go from a 0 to an 8, isn't it? But I didn't say an 8, you said an 8. So just by you doing these few things, in the workshop, many people that want to get married. So if you come to the workshop, that might happen. Allah knows best. The criteria, I indicate to you that I told you actually, your criteria needs changing. Okay, so, and family and friends and the wider community. So in your case, you're going from a 0 to an 8. That's a big jump. But that's a very good jump if you really feel that way. For someone else who's given a low score, let's say a 2. So, Brother Ibrahim, if you did all of these, where would you see your marriage going to, from and to? Number 2 to a 7, just doing these few things. So, mashallah, all of you, I want you to write down your action. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. What I want you to do, just for these 2 so far, parent, siblings, and marriage workshop, write down the actions which will help you, and then what number it's going to take you to. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that, and we'll do a few more only, inshallah. So those of you listening at home, you can do this as well. Just get a pen and a paper, draw the circle of your life. This is called the wheel of life. Ibrahim, if you could go through with what he's missed. Yeah. So everyone should be, inshallah, writing some things down. And for the tawazul, if you want to show the recon. Brother Ibrahim, what were your lowest ones? Inshallah. So you can write them on that one, those ones. Brother Sadiq, what was your lowest? What's yours?
Mine was pretty high score anyway.
So what's your lowest one?
Lowest was exercise.
Yeah, so circle your 3 lowest ones. So for all of you, you should circle your 3 lowest ones. If parent, siblings, marriage is fine for you and these others are fine, then circle the 3 lowest ones. If your lowest one is the deen and your duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is low, then put that low, circle this one. If your exercise and diet is very low, you're not doing it at all really, so a 0, 1, whichever, then circle that one and write the actions here. Has everyone written? Okay, so now let's do the exercise one. So Brother Rafael, in your case it says a 7, but I'm going to change that for someone else who's written a 2. Okay? So let's do exercise. For those of you who exercise diet is very low, what you would do is circle this one and let's write some actions. So for someone whose exercise is really low, their diet is very bad, and they want to get it from a 2 to 3 or 4, what could they do? What's a simple action they could do? Okay, find a buddy to do what? To go to the gym or work. Okay, so look for a gym buddy. So, yeah, so that's very useful. If you can have a gym buddy, that's an excellent solution. So find a gym buddy, ask your friends, ask family members if they'd go with you and you could work out together. That's very good. Anything else? Brother Sadiq, what about you? What could you do?
Join a gym.
Okay, so as a bare minimum one would be join a gym. Okay, good. What do you think?
Fix your diet and what you
Oh, okay, very good. So plan your diet. A diet that's why I said diet you can do separately, because diet is something you need to plan as well. You can't just eat anything and everything. If you want to be healthy, if you've got diabetes or you're on the borderline of high cholesterol and high diabetes and all these other things, then you have to plan the diet. Okay, so the first thing to do is monitor what you're eating. What that means is 1 week should pass. In that 1 week, you've written everything down that you've ate. So you can see what am I actually eating. Then you can see what you need to change. So monitor the diet and then you can plan it. If you can't plan it unless you know what you're doing. If you do a major change, it's not likely to happen. If you do small changes, it's likely to happen. Okay, so someone who's on a 2, Brother Steek, if you went from there, what number would you give yourself? If you've joined the gym, you've got a gym buddy, and you're monitoring your diet. If you did them 3 things, what number would you have? 5? Okay, that's very good. Remember, our target is only to go up by 1 level. We only want to go up by 1 level, and you've gone 3 levels there. 3 levels. So, mashallah, very good.
That's a big 3.
What's a big 3? This is a 5. Okay, so this is a 5. Now let's do for someone whose work, business, finance is very bad. You're working 7 days a week. You're always working, making enough money, or you're trying to do a business is failing, or finances are a mess. There's a lot of debt. So let's imagine someone like that. What action could they do? Firstly, do you take advice about debt from someone who's in debt? Who should you take advice from? Take advice from people who are successful. So many people, they make this big mistake of taking advice from the people who are in worse position than them. And sometimes that is your family and friends. This is the truth. So no offense to anybody, but you shouldn't take advice from the person who's not an expert. Take advice only from the expert in the field. So the first thing that they would do is get advice from successful people. Yeah, from someone who's been successful in a business, someone who's successful in their finance, in their work-life balance. Get their advice. Okay, don't get the advice from people who are in a worse position than you. What else could they do? So has anyone given this a low score? I know Rafael has. Anyone else? Yes, brother. Okay, what else could you do to improve that? Was it on the work, the business, or the finance side? Business. So what could you do in your business to make it better? No? Or what is the business? Web related. Do you have enough clients, enough customers, or do you need more? You need more. So what's the most important thing in business to get more customers? Marketing. So how are you marketing at the moment? No, how is it? What are you doing to market? So do you see when a person does a bit of everything, what do they call them in English? Jack of all trades. So what you need to do is, which of those has given you the most success, the conversion rates the most? Of all the ones that you've tried? So that means that you're not monitoring. So do you see now from all those, what did I do for Brother Ibrahim there? Kept asking questions and questions and questions to find out what the actual problem was. So the number one problem there was not, if in a business, if they don't have enough customers, they need more customers. Then they need marketing, but he's doing lots of different types of marketing. So he doesn't know which one is the best because he's not monitoring. So the first thing to do here is monitor which of those marketing strategies, Facebook, leafleting, announcements, whichever it is, which one gave you good conversions. And then what do? You do a lot more of that. You focus on that. Okay, so in your case, find out, monitor conversion rates in marketing. Anyone else in business, in work, finance, what could you do? Excellent. So regarding debt management, someone who's in debt, what should they do? What do they need to do regarding their debt? They have to.
Look at the finance, how they spend the money,
Okay, very good.
how much is coming in, how much is going out.
And then how much they can pay. Okay, very good. So the first thing that someone who's got finance problems need to do, look at the money coming in, how much money comes in. If I ask you how much money comes into your bank account every single month, you should be able to tell me like that, unless it's a business and it fluctuates. But if it's the same every month, but the most important figure is how much goes out every month. That generally is the same. You should know how much money goes out every month. The difference between the money coming in, money going out, is your surplus. In business is profit, in work is your surplus, disposable income. Now, if you're in debt, part of that should be going towards the people you owe. So is it better to make a payment plan or pay the person all in one go, which never seems to happen? What do you think? Make a payment plan? Say, pay them something every month? So they simply need to make income, expense, and then the surplus, so IES. They need to find out what their income is, what their expense is, what the surplus is, and then pay something every month, inshallah. So do you see, this person who's on a 2, if they start doing this, get advice from successful people. Find out how much money they have in, coming in, going out, the surplus, then they know what to do with it. And they monitor their customers and where their customers are buying from them. What do you think their business or their work would go to from a 2? They started doing these things. Monitoring their finance, finding out which is the most successful customer conversions for them, and they're getting good advice. They've got mentors. Quite high? So where do you think? 7 or 8? Just from those 3 things? So not bad at all. So from a 2 to a 7, from a 2 to a 5, from a 0 to an 8, from a 2 to a 6. Is there anything else? We won't do all 8, but I just want you to get an idea. Is there anyone else who had a low score on sleep or children or friendship or self-development that you'd like me to do? I'll do 1 or 2 more. Sleep. Okay, very good. So sleep, this person in Raphael's getting lots of sleep, he's happy. Let's say it's someone with a 0, so or a 1, or very low. Okay, so it's very low, is a 1. Not enough sleep, 4 or 5 hours every day, something like this. What's the first thing which they could do?
They need to evaluate themselves why they're not sleeping or what time they're going to bed and what's
Yeah.
happening. Are they watching TV a lot? So
Yep.
evaluating yourself probably helps.
Very good. Okay, so the question is why? So we need to ask the person. So has anyone here getting a low sleep, and we can ask you? Brother, yourself? Yeah? Why do you get low sleep then?
Yeah, I struggle because I have an autistic kid.
Okay.
When I take him to bed, sometimes I'm like sleeping while I'm trying to put him to sleep. But obviously, I've slept for half an hour, then all night I can't sleep then because it changes my pattern.
Yeah. So you've got an autistic child. What time does he go to sleep?
Because when he goes to school, he kind of like works on it.
Yeah.
Before it was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's gone down to like 11 now.
Okay.
So if I take him to bed about say 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
he'll sleep, but he'll wake up about 12 o'clock, he'll be awake all night.
He'll be awake all night. How old is he?
He's 7 now. So when I take him to bed at 11, he falls
Yeah.
asleep straight away. He sleeps all the way through.
Okay. So now already.
Yeah, because I work in the evening. So
Yeah.
when I'm at home, I try to put him to sleep.
Yeah.
When I work in the evenings, I tend to go bed late. I don't watch much TV, but it's like
How much sleep are you getting per night?
5 hours.
And how much do you want?
Then the worst thing is when I'm doing the school runs,
Uh-huh.
some days I'm coming from school runs and I'm just like I'm in a line and I'm just sleeping again.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
you're
think-
making up.
Yeah, I think this is what I'm going wrong. I need to do like attend the gym or do something in the daytime.
Yeah.
Before I used to have a daytime job, but because of the situation and everything changed, so I'm more like I feel I'm more lazier now.
So you're more flexible with
Yeah,
your work
so
as well.
My kind of activeness is gone a bit.
Okay. So sleep is all over the place at the
Yeah,
moment.
sleep is all over the place.
And because what do you do as a work job?
Well, I used to do I used to work in a further education, but now I work 3 days in a takeaway.
Okay.
And then one day I do caring job, looking after someone.
Right. Okay.
So
So
a bit of everything.
bit of everything. So for you, for yourself, one of the first things, this is something which is beneficial for everybody, and that is to sleep at the same time, to wake up at the same time every single day, regardless of it's your day on, your work day or your off day. And why, if we as Muslims, what do we have to wake up for every day anyway? Fajr. So for us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us, doesn't matter if it's your day of work or your day off work, you need to wake up at the same time every day. And that is called your body clock. So right now your body clock is a little bit difficult, it's all over the place. It takes a little bit of struggle at the beginning to get the body clock in the right place. So what I would suggest is when your son goes, you've told me your son at 11 o'clock he'll sleep all night, but if you take him earlier, he'll wake up. So already you know that the best time for him, the optimum time for him to go to sleep is at 11. So if you go to sleep with him, and then don't fall asleep yourself, let him fall asleep, and then you go into your bedroom and go to sleep, that would be the best thing. So your sleep time should be like 11:30, just from what you've said. So you need to have the same sleep, I'm going to just write pattern. So the same pattern every night. And if we have that, then our body clocks, there is a clock in the body, not that like this type of clock, but the body recognizes this is sleep time, this is awake time. And then you'll be much more active, you'll have more energy during the day. And because you've recognized what time your son should go to sleep, put him to sleep at that time and you can go sleep shortly afterwards. What's one thing that a lot of us make a mistake? What do we look at night time? And what does this phone do? The light, what does it do?
That blue light makes you awake.
It tells your brain it's daytime, and then the body clock is affected, and your brain's thinking it's daytime, so it doesn't go to sleep. And so being away from your phone, putting it downstairs, not in the bedroom, downstairs is something very good to do. So brother, do you find yourself on your phone before sleeping at all? No?
No.
Okay, so that's good, so you don't have that problem. So put the phone away before sleep. No going on the phone before sleeping. If you do, it will affect the sleep. So now let's imagine this person's on a 1. They've realized why they can't sleep. They're starting to practice the same pattern every day. They put their phone away. Where do you think their sleep might go now? Where do you think? Let me give you one more action because this one's very important. Everyone can do this. When we go to sleep, what should we be thinking? What should we not be thinking about? What should you not be thinking about?
Tasks, chores, work, that type of stuff.
Your to-do list. Yeah. All the things that happened in the day, all the things you have to do tomorrow. That's the time not to think about any of them. So what should you be thinking about? Yeah. So the best thing is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But even the simplest thing is think about sleep. If you think about sleep, you actually can fall asleep easier. Even better than that is think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and fall asleep in the state of speaking to Allah with your heart. If you do that, the whole night can become worship. Just because you fell asleep speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your heart. So, the first thing is don't think. Don't think about this, what am I going to do tomorrow? I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there, I have to do this. That is making your brain work harder. You need to think about nothing, but the brain can't do that. It can't think about nothing. So you have to divert to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because where are you going to go when you sleep? Where does your spirit go? It leaves the body. The sleep is referred to as a sister, a smaller sister of death. It's like a younger brother, younger sister of death, a smaller version. So you're going to go to Allah. This is why you need to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you're going there. So if I was coming to visit you and someone asked me, where are you going? I would say I'm going to Brother Sadiq's house and I'm looking forward to going. He's preparing some nice food for me and oh, I can't wait, you know, and then the dessert. You're thinking about the person where you're going. So in the same way, you should be thinking about the one who you're going to visit as well. And if you're thinking about the work and so on, then no wonder the person's sleep is going to be harmed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indirectly is telling you, your sleep deprivation is because you're not remembering me. And in that, everything in this world is like this. It's a message telling you, come back to me, come back to me. So where will this person's sleep go to now? If from a 1 to, he's doing all these things. He puts the phone away, he sleeps the same pattern every day, he recognizes why, and he doesn't think about anything other than Allah at the sleep time. Brother, where would it go to?
Probably from 2 to say 4.
To a 4, yeah? Just by doing those things. Anyone think higher? He's, yeah?
I'd say about an 8, because then you get into a sleep pattern.
He's got into a sleep pattern, yeah? So if he's in a sleep pattern, I would say that it'd be much more than a 1, definitely. And if he's not thinking about anything else, if they put the phone away, it could even be higher. But at least we only want to go from 1 to 2. To go 3 steps up higher is good enough. So what I want you to do is choose the 3 which is lowest for you and make sure today you've got 2 actions, just 2 for each one of those. So can everyone do that now? Make sure you choose your lowest 3, make sure you have 2 actions, inshallah. I'm just going to give you 1 or 2 more minutes and then inshallah I'm going to show you one other thing and we'll finish. Okay, off you go. So bismillah, mashallah. So some of you are still writing, you can carry on if you want, or you can write them after. So this, how often do you think you should do this? You should review your life. How often do you think? Anyone? Sorry?
Every week.
Every week would be good, but as a minimum, I would say once a month at least. So if you kept a file, you keep yourself a file, once a month you draw a fresh chart like this, every month. And then you ask yourself, where do I rate these now? The next month, you would have done these actions to improve only 3 out of the 8. You would have improved that aspect of your life. What did I say that if you improve 3 of them, what happens to the other 5? Do they go up or do they stay where they are? They also go up, because if your finances are suddenly better, you suddenly have more money, more time for, let's say, exercise, or maybe taking the family out, maybe spending time with children as well. So you have time for other things because your finance is better. If your sleep is better, all of them become improved because your mood is better, you're not grumpy at people, you're very much more happier because you've got more sleep. If you're exercising more regularly, then you have more these called happy hormones, endorphins. They make you feel better. Now you can do these other things as well. You're happier with your children, happier with the wife, happier with the parents. You look better, you feel better. If all of them, if your relationship with your spouse improves, that relationship automatically makes your relationship with others improve as well. But what happens when you have a fight with the wife or the husband? And then you go to your parents' house, what happens? You're already in a bad, angry state. So do you not sometimes take it out on others? People sometimes do this, don't they? So then it damages your relationship with your siblings, but they don't know why you're angry. So if you only focus on 3, it will automatically help the other 7 or the other 5 automatically. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Holy Quran over 23 years, which was to telling us you need to gradually, slowly improve yourself. You can't transform yourself in a day or a night. You do it slowly. But if you don't do any plan, what did I say at the very beginning? Failing to plan is planning to fail. If you don't do anything, then you're planning to fail. So at least if you have something like this, you can go away and do this on your own. You don't need, many of you told me the actions. I didn't tell you. You told me it would take me from a 2 to a 4 to a 5. I didn't say the numbers, you said. So this shows you can do that yourself. You have the answer within you to improve your own life. But you have to do this once a month and review your life. The most important thing to review is your life. Because if you don't review it, who's going to review it for you? Does anyone else care about your life more than you? I can tell you the only person who does is the Holy Prophet ﷺ. He cares more about your life than you do. But your own family members sometimes won't do this, do your self-development. They care about your friends and everyone else. They care about how you benefit them. Most of them, not everyone. So then the next month you'll do those, you'll look at which 3 are low next month. It might be a different 3. And then you focus on that for a month. Then you do it again the month after. Which are the lowest 3 now? And then you improve them. So every month, your focus and attention for that month is something different. And all of them are becoming better and better and better. And before you know it, the person can be a very happy person every day. The last thing I'll remind you of is that if you have good days, then you have a good life. So if you want to have a happy life, you need to have happy days. And to have happy days, you need to, all of these aspects of your life need to be 10s or 8s, 9s in this range. Inshallah, then you can become a very happy person. So Jazakallah, on that point I'll finish. If anyone has any questions, then inshallah you can ask related to the topic, and then we'll do a short zikr. Has everyone understood?
Yes,
Yeah?
I got a question regarding sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I work night. So in the pattern is there.
Yeah.
So the weekend, I straight away work late, like early in the morning.
Yeah.
Weekdays I finish early. Well, I tried so hard to go, sleep early. I can't because the pattern I stay late.
Yep.
Weekend, I can't go to sleep early.
So what time do you sleep on? How many days do you work?
Sometimes 4 days, sometimes 5.
And then what time do you sleep on those days that you work?
Weekend usually I like sometimes 6 o'clock, 7.
6 a.m. in the morning
6 a.m. in the morning.
until.
Till 1 o'clock or half 1.
Okay. So generally, it's perfectly fine for you to keep that routine. And because for you to, on a weekly basis, for you to change dramatically between a routine of sleeping from 6 a.m. till 1 p.m. and then suddenly trying to sleep from the normal time of 12 a.m. till 6 a.m., that's a very difficult change to make on a weekly basis. It's not good for the human body. Even biologically, it's not good for you. So those people who have shift patterns like this, and they change morning to night, night to morning every often, there's lots of research to show that it's not good for them, and other side effects happen as a result. The best thing is to have the same routine every night or every day. So if you kept it, then you'll be awake in the night, and you'll sleep from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m., which for a family perspective is still okay, because you'll see your children when they come home from school, college, you'll see them. You just won't see them in the mornings. And so inshallah, that's still perfectly fine. It gives you the opportunity in the night time on the days off to do other things, ibadat, and any other work that you want to get done, that's a good time for you to do it in. So you can do many things in that time. The whole family is asleep, and then you wake up at the same time, Zohar time, 1 o'clock, around this time, and then you've got the whole day ahead of you then. You just have to make sure that time, when you're awake in those 3 days, is used effectively, and whatever you would have done in the day is done in that time, inshallah. The other answer is that if you want to change it, then you have to go through the hardship for 1 day. And what that means is, let's say you've done the 4 days of sleeping from 6 a.m. till 1 p.m. Then it's your last day and you've done this routine. Now you're awake at 1 p.m. and it's your day off. So you've had the sleep. So what you have to do, what you can do is that day, that night, rather than sleeping, is you would force yourself to stay awake. And this is why it's difficult. This is partly why it's not good for you. You'd force yourself to stay awake in that period, and then the next day would come and you'd go to sleep at the normal time of, let's say, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. And you would want to sleep straight away because you'd feel sleep deprived. But then from that day onwards, you'll be able to sleep at 10 p.m. every day. But then what's the problem? 2 days later now, work again, and you have to change the routine again. And then, so twice a week you'd be deprived of sleep just to get back in the normal routine. And doing that on a long-term basis can be harmful for you. But if you want to be able to change the routine, you only have to go through the hardship of sleep deprived for 1 day. So you would have been awake for about 36 hours, something like this. That's why that's not recommended. The recommended one is to have the same wake-up time, sleep time every day, inshallah. Yeah. Yes, but
another problem in this country is with the school runs, because at times 8 o'clock we don't wake up. But the Fajr time changes, so that's the problem. Now it's alright because the Fajr time is 7, 7.
Yeah.
But on the summer time, 5 o'clock, so if you sleep at 12 o'clock, you have to wake up about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Then go to sleep again, then wake up at 8 o'clock. So one kind of thing.
Well, firstly, this is not a problem about the Fajr and the other prayers moving. That's not a problem. That's part of the test of this world. And if you were to see it as a problem, then it's like saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, you've made this problematic for us. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done that to teach us something. So what do you think Allah is teaching us by moving the prayer times around all year round? There's something Allah Azza wa Jal wants us to learn. What is it? Fajr in summer is 4 a.m., Fajr in winter is 7 a.m. What does Allah want us to learn? Not just Fajr, Isha as well. Isha now is 6:30 in some mosques, but in the summer it's 11 p.m. What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaching us? How to manage time. So time, this every single day, every year, it's changing. Allah is telling you, learn to manage your time. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by time in Surah Asr, that by time, most of mankind is in loss. Who is it that's not in loss? The ones not in loss are the ones who've mastered time, who've learned how to manage time. So in that case, all the person, and this is the benefit. The benefit is that it's gradual. Because it's gradual, whatever timetable you have works for a week, it works for a few months. It works for a few months. And it's not that it dramatically changes just like that. It works for a few months. Then you can change the timetable when the times are slightly different. So it's not an overnight thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't change Fajr from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. overnight. He changes it gradually. It's 15 minutes every week, there's a slight change. So what routine do you have now? You said school runs. School runs is all in the daytime, so 9 a.m. and 3 p.m.
So I sleep most of the time 3 a.m. and wake up 8 a.m.
You can't sleep earlier because of work?
Yeah. So 3 a.m. wake up 8, then take children to school, come back. I will sleep again 10 o'clock each of the morning, wake up about 12 o'clock.
Okay, mashallah. So this is actually a good routine. Why is that a good routine? Does anyone know how many times the Holy Prophet ﷺ would sleep in the day, in a 24 hours? How many times would the Holy Prophet ﷺ sleep? It's more than twice.
3.
Yeah. So alhamdulillah, it's in the region of 3, sometimes 4. So those sleeps, there's one long sleep and the others were short sleeps. So some of them were only naps like in the daytime, but there's one long sleep, one short sleep. So what this actually tells us is that the brain needs, from scientific point of view, we already know that the brain needs to sleep to process all the information that it took in during the day. But it needs one long sleep and one short sleep. It's programmed that way. So those people who sleep one very long sleep, they're actually not, it's not the best way to sleep. They should have a shorter sleep, let's say 6 hours, and then they should have a 2 hour sleep at another point. That's the best way. The 8 hours that we're all meant to have in the day, 8 hours is recommended by Mashayikh as well. It should be like 6 hours and a 2 hours. And that should be sufficient for you. This is why, have you heard the Sleeping Beauty and these things, they say beauty sleep. Why is it called a beauty sleep? Because if you have a sleep in the daytime or the short sleep, if you wake up after that sleep, you feel very refreshed. Even the skin feels different. It's because that sleep gives you different benefits than the long sleep. So your routine is not very bad. It's actually quite good. The 3 till 8, you probably only need 1 more hour there. But like you said, you have to wake up for the children. 3 to 8, or of course you'd have to wake up for the Fajr and so on. Try to go to sleep early if you can. Otherwise, have this 5 hours sleep here, and then in the daytime, 2 to 3 hours is also fine. As long as you're getting 8 hours in this region, then inshallah you should be perfectly fine. So 2 sleeps in the day is fine. And in Ramadan, I want to mention this because many people make this mistake. In Ramadan, the problem that most of us face is not hunger. We don't face the hunger problem, especially in this country. It's actually the sleep problem. The sleep is not corrected or it's not managed. That's why people are walking around like zombies and things like this. So what is the best way to sleep? One of the simplest ways, I'm just going to share it with you, inshallah. After Fajr, stay awake in the night. So from Taraweeh, from Iftari, stay awake for Taraweeh, stay awake for Sahri, because it's so short. There's like less than 2 hours sometimes. It's so short. Pray Fajr. They pray Fajr very early in the Jamaat. After Fajr, go to sleep. So Fajr is 3:30, even sometimes earlier than that. From 3:30 to 7:30, a person can sleep 3 hours. They've had 3 hours sleep. Then they're awake, they go to work. And this is the children in school, college, university, and even the teachers. And I personally did this myself. I found no problems. As a teacher, my routine was the same as the children. But I used to see the children very, very tired. And there's a reason, I'll tell you why that was. But my routine was the same as theirs. So then 7:30, wake up, pray Fajr is already done. No breakfast needed, get ready and go to school, go to work. Then as soon as you come home, in the lunchtime, you can pray your Zohar because there's no lunch to have. So pray Zohar at school. Soon as you come home, 4 o'clock, sleep from 4 or let's say 3:30 till 7:30. It's Asr time at that time of year. So do you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us, change your timetable. Ramadan keeps moving and you have to learn to change the timetable with Ramadan. Not complain, oh it's a problem. It's not a problem. Allah is teaching you time management. So 3 hours in the night, 3:30 to 7 or 7:30, that's 4 hours. And then have 4 hours in the afternoon, in the evening from 3:30 p.m. this time till 7:30 p.m. So you've got your 8 hours. You've got 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon. And it's only Asr time now. You wake up for Asr, you can pray in Jamaat with the family, whoever. And then it's Maghrib time, you don't even feel like you fasted. What is the problem that many of the children face is that in Ramadan, they're having to go to the masjid for reading and learning sabak. And look at this person, they come home from work, they get to sleep for 4 hours. Because in the night time, they're having 4 hours sleep. So they still got their 8. So our children are going to the mosque to study and read, but now they're not getting enough sleep. And because they're not getting enough sleep, they're deciding not to fast. So which is the better one? Sacrifice the nafil for the farz or sacrifice the farz for the nafil? You sacrifice the nafil for the farz. Studying every day, that's optional in Ramadan. What they should be doing is be awake in the night, study after Taraweeh, do night worship. That time they should be doing it until Fajr. Then after Fajr they sleep, they go to school perfectly fine. In their lunchtime in school they can study there. and do tilawat and whichever. Then after they come home from school, they go straight to sleep, wake up for asr, and then back to normal routine. So in my opinion, the masjids shouldn't be teaching after school time in the weekdays. In the weekend, when the children are off, their routine is slightly different. They can teach then. So this is the underlying problem with that people are facing. They're not managing their sleep because in Ramadan, it's not the fasting that's difficult. So remember the principle. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us to manage time. That's why the prayer times keep changing. Otherwise, Allah could have said that a clock thing will be invented, pray at 2 p.m., 7 p.m., 5 p.m., 2 a.m. every day. But He didn't. So inshallah, if there's anything else, then during the food, inshallah, we're more than happy to discuss these things. And these are everyday life matters. These things affect your everyday life. And these are the types of things people need to know, need to understand. So jazakallah, inshallah, subhanakallahumma bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Shall I keep these on? Just keep it on. This one. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم محمد سيد القونين والثقلين والفريقين من عرب ومن عجم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور 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 له الأسماء الحسنى له الأسماء الحسنى له الأسماء الحسنى له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم 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 وهو الغفور الودود ذو العرش المجيد ذو القوة المتين وهو الغفور الودود ذو العرش المجيد ذو القوة المتين ذو الجلال والإكرام 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 سبحان الله عما يشركون حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله حسبي ربي جل 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 الله ما في قلبي غير الله ما في قلبي غير الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى 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 الله حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا 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 الله لا إله حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا الله حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا الله 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 السلام عليك أيها النبي 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 ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه وأتوب إليه اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. O Allah, Lord of the heavens and the earth and everything that is in between. O Allah, please forgive us for our shortcomings. O Allah, forgive our major sins, our minor sins, our hidden sins, our open sins, our knowing sins and our unknowing sins. O Allah, you surely are aware of everything which we do, day and night, hidden, open, in every shape and form. O Allah, we beseech you for your forgiveness. O Allah, we seek forgiveness for not asking you for forgiveness. O Allah, we are so much more in need of repenting, O Allah, yet we forget. O Allah, if we have forgotten to turn to you, O Allah, enable us to turn to you. Remind us, O Allah, and if we have forgotten about your reminders, which you send us every single day, every hour of every day, O Allah, and you give us the eyes and the sight to see your reminders and to take heed before it is too late. O Allah, you have blessed us with all the 5 daily prayers and even tahajjud, oh Allah. These prayers and these times that change every day throughout the whole year is a blessing. You are teaching us time management, timetable, oh Allah. Enable us to embrace it, enable us to benefit from the changing times of the prayer, enable us to benefit from managing our 24 hours a day. Oh Allah, everything comes within this time and within this space. Oh Allah, pleasing you, turning to you, worshipping you, following you and your beloved Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Oh Allah, everything, work, finance, time with family, time with the spouse, time with children, exercise, diet, all of these aspects of the life that we have to live. Oh Allah, everything comes under time. Enable us to master our time so that we can truly benefit from the life of this world. For the true life is the life of hereafter. Oh Allah, the life of this world is surely going to pass. Enable us to live in that world, in the hereafter, to live with you forever and ever and ever, and never having to regret how we spent this life. Oh Allah, this time that you have given us is very short. Surely it will end maybe for some of us tomorrow, for some next month, for some next year, and for some a lot longer. But in the end, we all have to leave. Oh Allah, enable us to die with no regrets. Oh Allah, enable us to die in a state in which you are well pleased with us. Allah. Oh Allah, forgive the whole ummah and guide all the believing men, the believing women, the Muslim men, the Muslim women, and guide the non-Muslim men and the non-Muslim women to Islam and to the straight path. Oh Allah. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.